Hello again everybody, this is Amorgin and you're very welcome back to another episode of Star Trek Fleet Command. So the Fractured Empire event is on, guys. It's running until the 29th of May. It's a little bit like the Act of War event. I'm presuming that I know how to do it. I'm just going to dive straight into it, guys. We're going to learn how to do this together if there's anything different. I may make a bit of a balls of some of this here, so bear with me. I've been reading through some of the Discord and I've been thinking, like, want to figure this out first and get in here and get a good video out of how it works and all that there. And I feel like I'm a little bit late coming to the party with a lot of guys getting videos out on this already. But this is going to be my take on it, guys. I'm going to dive straight in and I'm going to see how we get on with this event and hopefully be able to troubleshoot any of the issues that some of you guys might be having with how this actually works. Okay, so there's the reward calendar. Intrepid blueprints, Burrell blueprints, Gladius blueprints all coming there, it seems. And shards for Gorkin, Nero and Kirk. So resource tokens and all of that, all very, very welcome. Okay, so here we go, guys. The news that's being announced here in the wee new tab that's there. Same sort of stuff that was in Discord. So you can browse that at your own leisure. And we're going to jump straight in here and see what it's saying. So there's Fractured Empire solo event. See, I'm sitting on no points, and the bottom amount for me to get is 22 million. Okay, nothing wild amazing there. 45 million. Still not that great. We're starting to look at can tokens. Or can shards, sorry. That's very welcome. Okay. It'd be nice to see a little bit more titanium out of this. Okay, so that's the solo event, the Fractured Empire solo event, and we get that slightly different to the Act of War in that now if you're using a faction ship, you get additional points. So I'm going to do that to maximize it, guys, but bear in mind with your ships, with your Vaclis or your Kumari or even your lower level ships, I might throw out a lower level ship, see what it does to one of these bosses anyway. Just to be able to demonstrate how this can work for lower level guys. I'll be going for the top level bosses for the top points if I can. And I recommend, if at all possible, you guys do the same thing. So that's the solo event part. Okay, so there's the leaderboard. You can see I have 7 points there from hitting standard hostiles. And we can see there that there's an option to get on the leaderboard here just by killing one normal hostile, any level. So for you lower level guys, you should be able to go out and grind up some places, hopefully, on that leaderboard on your server. But you can see the separatist boss, if you kill it, you get 500 points. So an interesting version of the event. Let's just take a quick look at what the rewards here are. You have to be up to level 50. Okay. Tokens there as you get up to higher rewards, guys. Top reward there. Intrepid blueprints and lots of tokens. Very tasty altogether to go and win that. That's obviously going to be the gauge with the deep pockets that are going to spend to win that. Guys that have lots of resources and big ships, but arguably you should be able to try and get and rank in. If you grind hard enough, you should be able to get in and rank in the top 50 if you spend enough time at it, although it would be a fair grind, guys. Okay, so there's the PvP event. It's asking us to kill one enemy faction ship. So presumably that's any other player with a faction ship. So 5 points there will get you that. Not huge rewards. Getting a little better. So a lot of Mara and Can tokens available in this event, guys. And the Alliance leaderboard, you can see there Hom are number 1 for the moment. And the top rewards there relating to Alliance rewards. So browse all of that there in your own time, guys, and let's go now and see what is going on in our part of space. So I'm here in Freda beside Opla, not too far away from Perelion, the system that I want to go to. Now, if I remember correct, the hostiles here no longer attack you, so I think I should be safe to warp in here. We'll test it out now in a minute. We see Rommel's out there and Billy. So I'm going to be going after some of these boss separatists, sitting at 2 million, guys. I'll worry about the PvP end of it at another stage. I might be able to arrange something with Billy here to take out some ships, but to be fair repair costs there for allowing your faction ships to be killed, so we'll see what we can do with that later on. Plenty of boss separatists here. So they're explorer types. So the Burrells. Let's mess around here and get a couple of ships going. So I'm gonna change that one to. I'm gonna make that my Centurion. So I'm just gonna put in the borders for a second. I'm going to put the critical hit crew here on the Saladin. Change that back to the Centurion and put Kirk on the bridge. And Spock along with him, of course. Go with that for a moment. Let me see where I've got some. Yep, there's a Nero crew, so we'll stick the Borders in there too. Might have to just change that back a wee moment to free up those officers. There we go. So I'm going to try for burning here. Okay, we'll settle on that for a wee moment. Swap it back to the Borders. Now, let's take a little look at these. So the Borders is going to work on it and the Sally won't. So just for now, I'm going to change the Saladin to a low level ship, something. Let's see. There's a Findra. What's the warp ability on that Findra? 16. I wonder will that reach that system? It will. So I'm going to send the Findra in here. I'll throw it out first, guys, just so that you guys can see lower level ships and how this can accrue points even against these high level targets. It should work like the Act of War, so fingers crossed on this. I'm not too far out. So hopefully this will show you guys how this works. Some of you guys might have watched the Act of War videos before and you're aware of how this works. We'll test this right now Like I say, I'm going into this a bit raw. We'll test this right now and see if there's any changes to how this one works, the mechanics of this event. And just I suppose while I'm waiting for them ships to arrive, I did have another video called Raw Raiding ready to go. It was a very raw video of high level base raiding again, guys. Rog had raided one of our guys and it was ready to go, and then this vent kicked in and I felt like it was being a little bit left behind. I thought, right, I'd better get a wee video on this done, a wee how-to video on this done. So here it is. I have a new headset, by the way. I hope my audio's coming out nice. And I'm preparing for the live stream on Sunday. So I'm hoping some of you guys can hook up with us there, celebrate the 1,000 subscribers. But in the meantime, this event is going on. I'm going to do this in 2 parts and really show how this works now. Maybe get some points out of it for myself, a few rewards, and then after the live stream in a couple of days, we will do the final part of this and see how it worked out. And hopefully at that stage we'll have some footage from the server, like I said earlier, working together to try to get some of the lower guys some points. Don't know if that's going to work out as nice as I had hoped because of this PvP element, but we'll see how it goes. We can see from this as well, there's 5 days and 18 hours on the Alliance leaderboard, so this is going to run for them number of days, like we said. Okie doke, the Centurion's already there. There's the Bortus. Okay, so I'm going to throw the Findra at it first. This is the one. This is my victim here. Now this I'm aware is not maybe the optimal setup just yet, because I've got Harrison on a Findra, but it's really just for demonstration purposes, guys. And after I do a round on these and calculate the points, I'll work on maximizing the damage. Okay. So we're just going to throw these ships at it. They're all going to get destroyed. It's really about the damage dealt to this boss separatist. Okay, there we go. We'll repair that Findra straight up, first of all. Now what I'm hoping to demonstrate here, it might go awry on me, but what I'm hoping to demonstrate here is that irrespective of the level of your ship, you can still try and attain points from these boss separatists. So there we go. So there's a nearly 4k hull damage, nearly 2k hull damage, 4k, sorry, 584, 578. And then we got our ass kicked. But we went 4 rounds with that ship. And a little bit of damage done. Then this, of course, done a little bit better, went 20 rounds. Fair amount of damage done with that. But the ship's receiving, because of its shields, it's receiving minimal damage into the hull. Still not bad, I guess, but it's minimal damage. You're talking there something in the region of 12, maybe 14k per round, but at 20 rounds, that's not too bad. This is the one we really want to be looking at. 16 rounds in this one, guys. You see we're hitting there now. After a little while, it's the second and third hit is dramatically stronger than the first hit. So that went 16 rounds. So what does that mean in terms of points? I'll get this sped up first and we'll look at the points now in a second. Okay, so I'm going to bring that back here while we look at that. Okay, so we've gotten 12 million for that. 12,388,040. And this Findra now we'll be able to subtract what I've got here from what the total will be when I use this Findra again. That'll give you an idea what a Findra is going to get against some of these. Tinker about with it yourselves, guys, and you know what, if it's too tough on the bosses, go for the elites or that kind of thing. It's probably a bit unfair for those guys without faction ships adding in that bonus for the faction ships. Doesn't really affect me because I have faction ships. I don't like the expense of repairing them, but that's been improved recently as well, so I can live with it. But it's probably unfair on you guys that are running around in Vaclus and Kamaris and what have you. But it's still reasonably doable, you know. So I'm going to have to speed them up. Now again, you've got 18 hours, or I've got 18 hours here to something like 18 hours to complete this, 17 and a half hours. We can see here though that the PvP and the Fractured Empire leaderboard, because I haven't killed any ships, I'm nowhere near that. So for you guys that can't tackle the bosses, you have two options. You get a stronger friend to go and take him down to next to nothing so you can finish him off. And that's where we're hoping that our server can work together on this as well. And we are looking at the option, if you're not doing that, for you guys that aren't able to do what I am after doing there and sending faction ships to get the bonus points on it, that leaderboard and the PvP end of it, that'll be right up your street for going out and killing the level 17s, for example, spamming them. The level 22s might be doable for you at 25 points. Of course you want to kill the separatist boss at 500 points, who wouldn't? But for those of you guys, I'm after hitting the separatist boss with two of my strongest ships and got it down to about 50%. Maybe I can team up with somebody like Billy, one of the guys, and they'll be able to help me with that. But in reality, the level 22s are probably what I'm going for. Possibly even the level 17s. Okay, so this Findra's back. Let's take a look at what our points are there again. 12,388,040. Okay. And what do we get? 34k for that. So 34k popped up there, guys. It's not a lot, I guess. given that I have 22 million to go for. But some of you guys at lower levels, your targets will be less than that. Let me know what they are at the different levels. I believe that if I had stayed at level 27, that would have been a lower target for me. Okay, so I'll speed up the borders. And we'll run once more through what you need to do with these ships. And I'll explain again once more how I'm doing this. So, the main thing, the first thing is I want to move close to the system. If I've got a relocation token. I was already near Opla, so it's not too far to go. If I was far away, I would have moved to Opla or Kepler, perhaps, to go, if I was going into a Romulan space, to go into Constina or into Asia 20 here to hit, where is it now? Earthak 26. So I'm choosing Federation, of course. That I want to attack the Federation in the Federation space. Take one look at how this this Findra performed again. Something like a little over 1,000, 2,000 there, 3,000. Maybe 7,000 or 8,000 in total in terms of damage, and we get points there. So damage to a separatist boss using a faction ship, 2 additional points, but every 1 damage dealt to a separatist boss is 5 points. So I got 36. I get 2 bonus points, divide that by 7. It's about right for the damage that Findra done to that boss. So of course, we back up to it. There's the other ships. There's Radaban, somebody's in there fighting at the minute. We've got the elites in here, level 22. They're certainly doable. 65k. And a kill on. And all of these systems guys are similar enough. Any one of them you can choose. So there's quite easy mobs there to spam your ships on. Let's repair this and get the Sally out. So warp your base over to a nearby system if you can. Save travel time, guys. Ships that you can afford to repair, get them up into one of these systems and start grinding on these mobs in one of them 3 systems. And then team up with a friend in a different alliance and hit each other for the PvP if you can. Maybe some of you guys don't have that end of the event. Let me know. Is this the same for you guys? Now this may or may not work outside of faction ships. There was some suggestion that it might work with common ships. I haven't tested that yet, so if you guys want to let me know, have you tried any PvP and have you gotten any points for it? It looks unlikely. If it does what it says in the tin there and that explanation, then No, it has to be faction ships, which rules out a lot of people from that. So these are the main two we're concerned with anyway, the solo event and the leaderboard. And this is something you can team up with a friend as well if they're happy to, a stronger player happy to go and help a lower player and at least knock out the shields of one of these ships for you, to let you finish it off. I'll be looking to see if I can do that with somebody to get the 500 points for a boss kill. So I'll hopefully bring a video on that stuff, guys. Fingers crossed. Maybe the guys will turn me down and it'll be a disaster. But regardless, I have a video, like I mentioned, on raw base raiding that I wanted to put out before this. But I've jumped in to do this for you and get this out to you guys first. So look out for that raw base raiding. It's very, very roughly edited, guys. The mic is crap on it as well. But I have it there, it's nearly ready to go. Just need to do my thumbnails and whatever on it. So I'm changing this to the Sally. If any of you guys have any suggestions on officer setups that work particularly well for you in this event, let me know. Discuss it in Discord. Come into Discord, guys, and chat about it. There we go. So they're explorer types, and the interceptors not that great against them. They're interceptor types, so it's honours even in terms of the battle triangle. So one would presume these are battleships, level 17. No, they're interceptors as well. Let's just check to see if there's a mixture of hostile types. More interceptors. Okay, so I'm going to send the Sally up here, I think, and grind on a few of these guys. So I'm going to change this to a battleship as well. I'm going to change this to my Kamari. And take a look. Finally, I'm going to send up the Kamari and the Bortus. I'm going to see what sort of points we get with that. And then you guys can go and do your own testing on it. Let me know. So we want Gonzalez, we want critical hits. We can, and we might go with Livis. It won't be a particularly strong setup, but it'll do for this kind of kamikaze stuff. Okay, we might run with that. I know there's no synergy there, but we'll go with that nonetheless, and we'll send this Kamari and Bortus up here to Perelion. Now the Kamari obviously is not going to get the bonus points But for the purposes of this video, we'll be able to demonstrate what sort of points that this level, well, the strength 183 Kimahri does against these bosses. A level 15. Okay, so the Sally's in place. Let's start building up a few points on this one. Now I know it's interceptor against interceptor, but we live with that for the moment. So we can grind away on these. Let's see what we're getting, if anything, there. Okay, so I'm 19 points. I'm in rank 208. We're flying all together. $25 points, jump me up another 4 points there. Let's take a quick glance on our server, who is sitting in 50th place, where it is I need to catch. So it's Giggles. How you doing, Giggles? Octo's just behind him. So it's that region of 1700 is where you want to be be even on the verge of the leaderboard. Phil's quite low down in that as well. Sky the same. They're all sitting on around the 2000 mark, so you want to be hitting around 2,500 probably to be able to have a hope of staying in that top 50. Even at that, you probably want to be doing this quite late in the event and know what your real target is. And not that amazing rewards for the effort you would put in, which could be another reason why some of the guys like Phil and all are so low down in that. They might be writing off that particular Fractured Empire leaderboard. Some of these guys will have an Intrepid already. But certainly for guys like me there, that would be attractive to go after to get the Intrepid. If I want to go to that tier of faction ship. Okay, so we leave the salad in there for a moment. Let's go back here now. So remember guys, get as close as you can, if you can, to one of these systems. Any of your ships will get points if you go and you hit the bosses. So guys, the game crashed on me there, so apologies about that. I was saying about hitting the bosses, even with a weak ship. It will get you points. Them very low ships are limited to what they can do. Might be useful for farming the lower levels though. But here, hitting these level 26 bosses, we're going to test this Kimahri. We're going to see what we get. And then I'm going to hit him with the Bortus, just so that I can maximize the points that I get out of this. Okay, so Kimahri in first. Let's take a look at the top here, see what flashes up, what I get. 169k for that Kimahri. 18k titanium repair on it. Let's get this Bortus in very quickly. So that looked like 4 million. And the 60k titanium repair cost on that. So for 70k titanium, I've got about, say, 4.5 million points. To get to 90 million, I need to do that a bunch of times. 10 times for the 45 million, say. Twice that, 20 times. 10 by 70,000 is 700,000, so that's going to cost me something in the region of 1.5 million titanium loan repair cost, you'd imagine. Maybe more to hit that target. And that's hitting level 28, guys. It wasn't that tough when I was 27. So the advice in these situations is if these events are coming up and you're about to hit level 28, hold off, get the event out of the way first. So some of the criticisms then I'm hearing about this event, they relate to how it's not a level playing field. Some people are excluded from these events. Changing the format again, not communicating to people effectively what they need to do to prepare for this event. More of the same. It's the same old. Nice enough rewards, but the same old kind of stuff. Nothing too wild, exciting or amazing. Keeping us in the dark, building up anticipation, and then giving us the same old stuff again. It's nice that we know how to do it, but when you're going in to do the same old, and you've been building up a load of anticipation and making out like it's a really big event, and then you go in and find out it's not a level playing field. Way to go again, Scopely, to piss people off. Some people are quite disappointed with this. That's what I'm hearing anyway. However, on the founder server, we are discussing how we maximize this for the maximum number of players. So, like I say, I might have another video coming out on that stuff, guys. We'll see what happens on the founder server in regards with that. And in the meantime, a reminder once again, get your base close. Hit these bosses if you can. Grind on the lower levels if you're finding that too tough. Get the highest rewards you can. Put in the time and the effort. Get the highest rewards that you can. And yeah, keep an eye out to see if the founder server can set all you guys an example of how to benefit during events like this. And let me know, guys, if you have all of these options. Does everybody have the PvP event, for example, or do you have to be level 26 before that even shows up? Things like that. Come into the Discord and we'll discuss even further if you wish. So until the next one, guys, I hope this has been some sort of assistance to people. I know it was a bit of a long one, but this is how I'm doing it. I'm going into it quite raw. That's the way I like to do things, and I'm going to go off now and I'm going to tinker about with this a bit more, try to maximize my rewards out of it. It's going to be tough for me to hit 90 million, but we'll see what we can do. And until the next time, guys, look after yourselves and look after each other, and I'll chat to all of you people again very, very shortly. Cheers.